and welcome to the Baruch Athletics National Girls and Women's Sports Day. I'm Ms. McCullough, the Athletic Director. I am so thrilled to see many of you participating in our virtual celebration today. While we can't be together in person, I'm happy to see we could still manage to gather together today to celebrate you and the many who have gone before you to pave the way. While today is a celebration, it is also a day of remembrance, a day to reflect and give thanks for all the supporters, both men and women, who have fought tirelessly for female athletes, coaches, and administrators everywhere. I am sure you can all think of someone who has supported you throughout your athletic career, who saw the value of sport, and who encouraged another lap around the track. While athletic pursuits have a great deal of value, the work needs to continue to be done in the classroom and the boardroom. Today, in these unique times for the calling of social justice reforms, the conversation also needs to continue for all women and our fight for continued equality. I hope today you feel renewed, re-energized, and revitalized from our program. My wish for you is that you walk away feeling inspired and empowered, and that you will know that you will always be a Bearcat. Until we can see each other again in person and participate playing in the sport that we love, please stay safe and enjoy the program. I'll turn it over to Carrie.
Hi, everyone. For those that don't know me, my name is Carrie Thomas. I'm the Assistant Director of Athletics for Academics, Compliance, and Eligibility. February 2nd, 2021 marks the 35th Annual National Girls and Women in Sports Day. This celebration inspires girls and women to play and be active and to realize their full power. The confidence, strength, and character gained through sports participation are the very tools girls and women need to become strong leaders in sports and life. This day is all about you and the impact that sports has had on you, whether you started as a youngster, maybe middle school, or even maybe just became a college athlete while in college. It doesn't matter when you started playing the sport you love. It's about how the sport has molded you, given you direction, time management, commitment, drive, energy, and passion. It's about the experiences you've had, the blood, sweat, and tears you've endured, the championships you've won, and the friendships of teammates and coaches that will hopefully last a lifetime. I started playing baseball at a super young age. My brother played as well, and I was a Navy brat, so my mom handled it all by herself, getting us to practice, games, etc. Little did I know at the age of 6, I was actually managing my time. Something that I would learn to appreciate as I grew older through high school, college, and now my career. Little things you don't think of turn into actual life lessons. I can honestly say that growing up playing volleyball, hockey, softball, and summer ball made me the person I am. The adventurous, the teacher, the listener, the mediator, the driver, the competitor. I wouldn't give up my life in sports for anything in the world. It's made me who I am today, and so far I'm pretty okay with myself. So please take this day today to appreciate what sports have done for you. Take today to appreciate your teammate. Take today to celebrate you and the woman you have become. And enjoy this day because it's all about you. All right, so next up we do have, we're gonna go into, we have a little bit of time, or do we have a little bit of time still, Julia?
Yeah, we should have about like 10 minutes.
Okay, so we're gonna take a little bit of time here to, just because we're all missing each other a little bit, Julia's going to assign everyone to a breakout room. And what we're gonna do in this breakout room is we're just gonna mingle. Actually, it's going to be just a couple minutes long, just to kind of catch up. If you see a teammate in there, just to kind of see how things are going, let everyone know like how you're dealing with, life in general, and, what your plans are, now that, whether you're a freshman or you're graduating or whatever. So we want it to be conversational so we can all kind of get to know each other. And if you don't know someone, introduce yourself.
So everyone should be back now. Does anybody want to share any cool stories that they heard from their group?
Yes. We had an intense conversation, or not really intense, but an enjoyable conversation about cryptocurrencies and finance.
Nice.
Do you want to hear more about it, or?
Yeah, sure. You could explain.
Okay. So
Yeah, the seminar on Bitcoin now.
yes, this is basically it. So does everyone know what Bitcoin is?
It's amazing to see how much how knowledgeable you guys are. Like, I mean, I was in that group, and wow, I just was like, we need to do a second session just so I can learn a little bit more about investing, because wow, you guys, it's amazing. It just makes me feel good about the education you get.
Yeah, I mean, I learned all this on my own.
Okay.
I'm taking a blockchain class though this semester at Baruch, so that's really exciting. I don't think a lot of schools have that.
That's cool.
And yeah, I'm going to learn about the technology there too. Anyway, so Bitcoin's this cool cryptocurrency you guys should all hop on, but I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take my advice. Disclaimer. What it is just like a cryptocurrency. So basically, it's money that's digitized. And I like Bitcoin personally because it's secure and it's also limited. There's only a 21 million unit supply. There's only that many coins. And the dollar is just infinite. They could keep printing money and then your value will just keep plummeting. All the money, all the hard-earned money that you have in your savings will go down at the rate our economy is printing money.
Wow.
So this is why I invested in cryptocurrencies, because I think they're safer. Although they're very volatile now, it is risky to put your money in, but only put aside what you can afford. And then on top of that, it is also more reliable because of the supply. It's limited, so the value of your money won't really decrease as much.
Awesome. Thanks, Natalie.
You're
Well,
welcome.
I think we are having some of our guests join. I think they're hopping on now. So I think I can't really, I'm trying to go back and forth here. I think once you see everyone that's on, Julia, we'll give
Yeah,
it a
we're just
whirl.
waiting for Allie. That's it.
Okay. Awesome.
I also say I'm super excited to see a couple of softball alumni jumped on the call. Amba and Pico are here for those of you that remember them. So thank you guys for joining as well.
Awesome. We have a great group here, actually. We have a lot of our student athletes. We have a couple of male student athletes in support of our females. We have a lot of VIPs on. So I'm super stoked to get started, continue on with everything that's going on. I know this is going to be an awesome presentation. So I hope everyone else enjoys it as well. And Julia, whenever you're ready, or they're ready.
Yeah, we're just gonna wait for Allie because I think she wanted to show a video first.
Right. Okay. Actually, people have made a good point. If you guys have your LinkedIn's or anything, you can share them down in the chat, and it'll be a great way for everyone to connect, with everyone, because like I said, our breakout room had such a great, oh my gosh, like I felt like I learned so much in whatever the 2 minutes it was or whatever. So please, it's a good way to connect. And it's the only way that we have sometimes now that we're, we don't get to see each other in person all the time, and just meeting new people and stuff. And kind of gives me an idea moving on that maybe we need to do a little bit more of like Natalie and Jordan, want someone from basketball and tennis were on with like softball, and they didn't know each other, but they wouldn't know each other because Jordan's a freshman and Natalie's a junior, so a junior or senior, Natalie? Junior now?
Junior.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So it's just, more ideas, that's for sure. So.
And in the meantime, I'm going to keep dropping the link to the sign-in sheet so everyone can just sign in. And if you guys still have any issues, just please let me know.
Thank you, Kevin. And keep smiling throughout the presentation because Nevis is going to take a picture. He may look like he's hiding there, but he's really going to take a picture. You're muted, Nevis. You still aren't working. You still don't work, Nev. Can't hear you.
testing.
There you go.
Okay, I love Macs, but sometimes the Macs don't cooperate with me. So yeah, I've already been taking some photos with the Mac screenshot. So for
Awesome.
talking point, it's snowing again, pretty hard.
I know. I've been going at it since 6 a.m. yesterday. It's like work, shovel, work, shovel, work, shovel. Stinks.
Yeah, but this is like flurries for you. You're from Minnesota. Isn't this like,
Still
regular day in the...
saying that's why I moved. Warmer weather in New Jersey. I can handle it. If it only happens once a year, I mean, it was like the best exercise I've gotten in the last 2 days. So I hope everyone's out doing a little bit of shoveling, even if it's just your like doorman or something. Say, hey, buddy, give me that shovel. I'll help you out. It is great exercise. So, all right. I just saw Allie hop on. So I guess we can get started, Jill.
I think Allie's going to share a video first before.
Oh, she was going to take off.
Yes, and actually, I'm in a hotel room right now, and of course, right when we start, I have the phone ringing. So 1 second, real quick.
Like, what phone rings in a hotel? You know, it's like, what? They don't even have. Why do they even have phones anymore except for a
Right.
wake-up call?
Exactly. All right, awesome. Okay, we're gonna get going here. So I have, I'm able to screen share, Julia.
Yes, you should be able.
Awesome. All right.
Monday night changed our lives. While we were playing our first game of the season, a tweet was sent out on behalf of the organization that was insensitive, offensive, and ignorant to the movement going on in this country.
We will not stand for this.
We will not be spoken.
We will not have our voices taken away.
We're here now to do 3 things.
The first is to raise awareness.
We are here to spark a necessary change in the softball community, gaining and sharing knowledge about racial injustice in our world.
The second is to empower.
We're here to encourage our community to love, accept, and to confidently stand up for themselves, those around them, and the Black community.
And the third is to unite.
We're here to instill strength and inspire cohesion between people of all backgrounds, communities, and walks of life.
We don't know what the future holds, but we can promise you that we will work to ignite change.
To listen.
To stand with the Black community.
And to stand up for equality.
We ask that you stand with us. This is a new beginning. This is us.
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 Okay, everyone. So on behalf of Baruch Athletics, I'm pleased to announce that we have This Is Us speaking for us today for our Women in Sports Day this year. First in the group today, we have Allie Carda. Allie was born and raised in California. She graduated in 2015 from UCLA with a degree in sociology and was named a 2-time All-American. After college, she was a pitching coach for 4 years and continued to train for the USA Olympic team. In 2019, she received her MBA with a concentration in general management from DeVry University. Allie played with the USA national team since 2015 and finally made the USA Olympic roster in 2020. She is now also in her 3rd year of playing professionally in Japan for Team Honda. Next, we have Aubrey Leach. Aubrey is from Texas. She played collegiate softball for the University of Tennessee Lady Volunteers. She was a 3-year captain and a 2-time All-American. Aubrey established herself within the record books for the Lady Bulls as well as the NCAA, leading the nation in runs scored per game in 2018. She graduated in 2020 with an honors concentration in political science and a minor in geology. She continues to play for the newly formed softball team This Is Us and finished 17th in the inaugural season of Athletes Unlimited, a newly formed professional league. Last but not least, we have Kiki Stokes. Kiki is from Kansas. She played collegiate softball for the Huskers at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. She was a 2-time All-American and set the school record with 200 runs scored. In 2013, she led the team to the Women's College World Series, where they finished 7th. She graduated in 2017 with a degree in Child, Youth, and Family Sciences. After she graduated, Kiki was then drafted 6th overall in the 2016 National Pro Fast Pitch College draft by the Scrapyard Dogs. She helped the team win their first NPF championship. This past June, her, along with 17 other players, left Scrapyard Dogs and formed the This Is Us softball team. She is now entering her 4th season as an assistant coach at South Dakota State University. With that being said, I welcome and will turn it over to This Is Us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julia. First of all, we are so pumped to be here and that you guys allowed us to be on this call and be a part of this event that I hear you guys do each year. So first and foremost, thank you for having us. Like Julia said, my name is Carda. I'm going to jump over and screen share real quick again so we can get rolling. And I just love that you guys are doing this event in general with empowerment and hold on here, we're already having technical difficulties. All right. Okay, here we go. So I'm Carda, like Julia said, and just the fact that you guys are doing these kind of events and focusing on empowerment is so amazing. I'm so excited to be here myself, and on behalf of This Is Us Softball, it's something that I am so proud of, and you're going to hear us talk more about what we're about, how we came about, and just the whole concept behind This Is Us Softball. So I'm so proud to be a part of it, to be a part of a positive change. And for me, I just really believe that we can create change if we start small, if we start with ourselves, and we can build on our teams and build just in the space that you're around every day. If you can create change within that, then we can all kind of create change and empower each other. So I'm going to turn it over to Kiki. Unfortunately, we were going to have Monica Abbott with us today, but for some personal reasons, she can't join us. So hopefully we can get her on another call with us later, but I'll turn it over to Kiki.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, kind of echo Al. Thank you guys for having us. We're super excited to get to talk to you guys today. This is important to us because we get to interact with you all, but we also get to tell our story. And with how things are going on in the world today, it's super important that we put ourselves in situations to learn and gain knowledge from the people around us. And so we appreciate you guys being with us today. And I know today will be fun, and have an open mind going into this, because I think that the more that you guys can have an open mind, the better off it'll be for your experience. So I'm super excited to get ready, and I'll turn it to Aubrey.
Same, just want to reiterate, like everyone else, such an honor to be in front of you guys, to be able to tell our story and speak. But it's really just a testament to the amazing platform that being an athlete gives us. It's a spotlight, but it's also a chance, like Kiki said, to educate, to share, and then for us to learn from you guys as well. So just super pumped to be able to speak, and hope that you guys can take a whole lot from our presentation.
Awesome. If you guys have any questions during all of this, throw them in the chat. And if we do have time at the end, we'll try and kind of read through and see if we can answer some. And if we don't have time, we'll get back to you. But anything you think of during this presentation, just throw it in the chat so we can kind of keep rolling, but so that you don't forget your question later on. So as we share our story today, we want to be really transparent, and we want to help everyone understand our story and where we came from, the decision behind walking away from that previous organization that we played for. This past June, we were really excited. As a softball team, we were able to get on the field and play again. After everything getting taken away with COVID. I know you guys are kind of going through that currently still, but when that was really heightened and COVID shut down our world, it shut down sports, a lot of our seasons got cut short, but we had the chance to play again in June. We got asked to be a part of a team, and we were all in. Also going on in our country, we were going through a lot of pain and hurt from all the racial injustices going on. George Floyd's death had just happened. Racial, social injustices were happening, and we were in the middle of a pandemic. I mean, I'm sure you guys lived it too. It was a crazy, crazy past year, right? But we had the chance, like I said, to play softball again. And we were so excited because we thought we could be a light for everyone in this dark time. So we all came together in Florida to play, and we were all excited. We were scheduled for our first game back after a very long time. We got to put our uniform on and play under the lights, which as athletes, it's one of the best feelings ever, right? Stepping onto the field under the lights. But during that game, little did we know that a tweet was being sent out. It was sent out by our previous general manager for the previous team that we had played for. And we had no knowledge of this. So once we finished our game, again, really excited to be back on the field, we got back into the locker room and found out about that tweet. We had saw reactions from our softball community. A bunch of us got texts from our family, friends. They were hurt by it, and we were confused. We were hurt, but it had spread everywhere. This tweet that was put out on our behalf spread everywhere and put us in a really difficult and upsetting situation. So from there, we had our general manager come into the locker room, and there were a lot of hurtful words said. We're not going to dive too much into what happened in that locker room, but it was pretty unforgivable. And Kiki, who you'll hear from later today, she was the only Black player in that locker room in that moment. So when we were all hurt after seeing the tweet, seeing how it affected everyone, seeing the reaction from that previous general manager, we looked to Kiki, and we were all hurt. But ultimately, as a team, we decided to walk away, walk out of that locker room, and walk away from that previous team. We didn't know what was going to come next. We had softball taken away yet again after COVID and everything else. But in that moment, it didn't matter. It was more than just a game. It was more than playing softball. And we were going to figure out what those next steps would be. So I want you guys to be able to read this tweet. We all might feel a little different about it, but let it soak in for a second. Read the tweet. Put yourself in our shoes. And this is where our story began. So why is this tweet wrong? We've talked about this a lot, and as a team, we didn't agree with it. We didn't choose for this to happen this way, but now we're in a position and have to kind of deal with it. So we, first of all, felt like we were spoken for. We were spoken for in that moment. Our voices were taken away. We were used as political pawns for someone else's agenda, right? These weren't our words or our thoughts, and we had no knowledge of those tweets being sent out. And third, it was just really insensitive to the current climate and going on in our country. Like I said, right, it was during the heightened time of the Black Lives Matter and so many different racial injustices happening. So we respect the opinions of everyone, and even though maybe some of you don't even agree, this is how we felt, and we as a team believed it was the right thing to do, to walk away and do something about it. And now we're in a position now to be determined to create change and empower the younger generations to do the same. And we want to stand up for those little girls who look up to us. I know a lot of you guys too probably have, little girls and boys looking up to you in the sport that you play in. And what are you guys doing? What is Baruch College doing in their sports? So how can we continue to break barriers like so many before us have and continue change in a positive way? So who are we now, right? This is us softball. What are we doing now? And we are doing something that has never been done before. We are a player-run organization. I mean, that is a pretty big deal, right? We are current professional softball players who own This Is Us Softball, and we're committed to empowering and building leaders just like you. We want to be able to empower everyone that we come in contact with. But how cool is it? I don't even think it goes through our heads sometimes. Like, we are a player-run organization. We have professional softball players who own this company and who are building something from, unfortunately, a negative event, but we're creating something positive from it. And that's what we're here today to do, and instill in you guys as well. So within your guys' world in the NCAA, let's put this into some perspective. There is less than 15% on campus leadership positions in athletics who are held by people of color. Less than 15%. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Less than 20% are women are in those leadership positions. So this divide, I mean, this is insane. And this happens everywhere, right? In sport, in business, in leadership positions. In our world of softball, we are underrepresented. We are women of color, and we're in a sport that honestly, we don't get much recognition for the work we do, right? We're professional athletes, and I'm sure probably a ton of you didn't even know that there's professional softball, right? I mean, it's so sad, but it's our world and we live it. And there's only a small percentage of us that even have the opportunity to play professional softball. And that's why we're so passionate about the work we're doing now with This Is Us, because we believe these percentages, people of color, women, the number should be higher, and we believe it can be. So we want to continue to break these barriers. So how are we going to do that? What is our solution? And this is what we're going to be talking to you guys about today. We are built off 3 pillars, and those pillars are awareness, empowerment, and unity. And awareness, we want to create awareness by sharing knowledge, doing these kind of, speaking engagements with you about injustices, diversity, inclusion, and we want to connect all of us together. No matter what your background, we want to build that awareness with each other. That empowerment, we're going to really focus on that today, but we want to be able to encourage and create confidence in all of you. We want all of you to feel empowered to be exactly who you're meant to be, nothing more, nothing less. So today, that's our focus. And third, unity. We want to instill strength. We want to inspire cohesion. Like I said, between all people, right? We come from so many different backgrounds and cultures and walks of life, but if we can have awareness, if we can empower each other, and if we can unite together, we're going to be unstoppable. So like I said, today we're going to focus on empowerment and what it means for you guys. We're going to discuss some different kind of focuses of empowerment, and then we're going to get into some breakout rooms. And I know you guys have probably done a ton of these Zoom meetings, so I want you to just we probably have about 30 minutes left of our presentation, and I want to make the most of it. So we're going to get out of our comfort zone, and we are going to participate. The more we participate, the more we're going to get out of it. So just hone in for these 30 minutes and really try and make the most of it with us. All right. So it's your turn. I'm going to stop talking. We're going to kind of get to it. Okay, we are going to do an activity, and we're going to have you guys, Julie is going to help us out. We're going to get into some breakout rooms, and I want you guys to have a leader for each of your rooms. So when you get in there, just pick a leader, and they're going to be your spokesperson for when we come back together as a group, okay? And hopefully you guys have papers with you, paper and a pen in front of you. I know everyone's probably at home. So right off the bat, you're going to write down, what is the first word that comes to mind when you hear the word empowerment? First word that comes to mind when you hear empowerment. I want you to write it down. If we're going to go in the breakout room, write it down so you don't forget. And then you're going to discuss, what emotion do you feel when you feel empowered? What emotion do you feel when you feel empowered? Okay, so what comes to mind when you hear empowerment? What emotion do you feel? And Julia, do I need to stop screen sharing for you to break out the rooms?
No, I can do it now.
All right, cool. So we're going to send you guys in just a quick minute and a half, discuss, and we're going to come back. So make sure you have a leader to come back and discuss. Awesome. Okay, so what is the first word that comes to your mind when you hear empowerment? What emotion do you feel when you feel empowered? And I am going to stop sharing real quick so I can see everyone's faces. Group 1, share with us. Who's your leader?
I believe that was me. First words that came to mind for us were mom and women. And the second about the feeling was strength and hopeful.
Awesome. And we're just going to roll through these. We can kind of do some discussion later, but group 2.
Oh, hi, sorry, we were group 2. We all kind of agreed that we said that the feeling, well, oh my God, we said strength. We said strength for the first question, and we all felt confident emotionally.
Awesome. Group 3?
Leadership and pride.
Good words. Group 4?
We kind of came up with like our own definition, and we said that empowerment is the ability to lift another, and that's what we came up with.
Awesome. 5, right, Mike? Group 5.
Yeah. So for the first question, we said strength, unstoppable, and you can express what's on your mind without judgment. And for the second question, we said that we feel happy, strong, proud, exhilarating, and confident.
Love it. Group 6.
All right, we thought of the word strength and leadership when we think of empowerment, and we feel brave, confident, free, and successful. Those are the emotions we felt.
Awesome. Yeah. What am I on now? 8? Losing track here. Group 8.
7.
7. Group 7. I apologize.
Okay, I'll take it. I think it kind of combines with everything that everyone else is saying. But one thing I wanted to add there with the feeling is that sometimes being able to stand alone, because sometimes it takes just one person to make that difference or take that step in that direction that we trying to get everyone else to follow.
Oh, that's powerful. I love that. Group 8 now.
I'll go. We had some technical difficulties in our group, so we weren't able to pick one, but I would say that it would be like leadership and power, and it feels like you're brave when you do that.
Awesome. And I believe 9 was our last group.
So for our group, we all had strength in our head when we first went into the breakout room. And then for the second question, we feel excited and proud.
Awesome. I love that. And it's so powerful to hear so many different words. They all kind of combine to feel and, understand the same thing, but that people's, there's no one right or one way to look at empowerment, and it feels so different to other people. So I want you guys to keep that in mind today when we jump into some of our other empowerment discussion, that it does feel and looks different to everyone. I'm going to now turn it over to Aubrey, and she's going to kind of get rolling with us. Share my screen yet again. All right.
Thanks, Al. Just as Allie's getting set up for kind of our next portion, you guys really hit the nail on the head. All of the words and the feelings that you've described are things that we're really going to talk about today. And so, like Allie said, keep those things in mind and reflect on them, because everyone is different. It affects people differently, and it actually shows and comes out differently. So great responses. With that being said, we are going to really dive in here to empowerment. First slide here, this is our definition of empowerment. So we are here to empower. We are here to encourage our community to love, to accept, and confidently stand up for themselves and those around them. We are here to create uplifting leaders. So I had one of those groups kind of came up with their own definition, and that's actually one of the action items. Is I want you guys to start thinking about your own definition, right? We're kind of going to talk about a personal way to think about empowerment, and then also, spreading it and empowering others. So really think about, as we continue to talk, making your own definition and being able to really hone in on why it's yours and why it feels special to you. And it's going to make that much of a difference in the end. So go ahead and go to the next one here. So when we talk about empowerment, we really want to break it into 2 different sections or 2 different parts. They're not quite independent. They work together really well, but we really want you to separate them to get a better idea or grasp about what we're talking about and the action steps behind them. And then essentially, once you have a good idea of both of them, we'll put them together, and that's our lesson on empowerment. I specifically am going to be talking about self-empowerment, and then Kiki is going to lead you on empowering others. Leading in here with self-empowerment, we really want to talk about being our best self, and understanding the aspects of this and the action items we can really employ to making this a part of our everyday lives. It's not just a one-time thing. It's something we want to be able to do and reflect on every day. This being said, we really have to first talk about empowerment and vulnerability. So a lot of times people think of them as complete opposites, right? They're two ends of the spectrum. You know, you're either one of the other, but we're here to break that barrier and talk about how they actually work together. And you actually need each of them to have the other. And so we really want to think about vulnerability and what that looks like. And on the next slide here, this to me and to us is what vulnerability looks like. These 3 steps are really going to hone in on that vulnerability aspect. And then essentially we're going to then be able to empower. Starting out here, I'm going to start you and end you with this quote. So just keep it kind of in the front of your mind as we're talking through our action steps. Great leaders know success is a process, not a destination. I'm going to read it one more time. Great leaders know success is a process, not a destination. This quote is by John Gordon. He's one of my favorite authors and motivational speakers. If you guys are looking at some literature to read for that mental preparation, empowerment, self-growth, he's a great one. So that being said, our first step into what vulnerability looks like and essentially self-empowerment is being honest with ourselves. So as humans, we're probably the least objective with ourselves. We find ways to, you know, talk ourselves out of things, whether it's something we're excited to do or something, you know we should be doing. For me, honesty was figuring out how I work as a person. And honesty comes in, you know, the representation of my planner. So I've figured out that I work best with a planner to where I can write things down. And it's not just like my day-to-day activities, it's my goals, my plans, how I want to see myself get better. And so being able to be honest, meaning having that vulnerability to really dig deep and see where you are and what you can get better at and what we can work on, it's going to work wonders, but it is a big step. So having that honesty with ourselves and figuring out what that looks like for you is going to be, you know, a really essential pillar in our journey to self-empowerment. Moving on to this next one, being comfortable in our own skin. So having that honesty, that first step, knowing where we are, moves us on to being comfortable in our own skin. They build on each other, so you really want to hone in on the first one before you move to the second one. But being comfortable, being authentic, being able to be the true you. To me, that is self-empowerment. That is being myself, being able to, you know, I'm a nerd and nerds don't always fit in athletics, but, you know, being able to be that smart, intelligent woman that empowers other people, that's where I'm comfortable in my own skin. And so what that looks like for me, it starts with my faith, being able to have something that I'm guided by each day. It starts with the mental self preparation that I'm putting in. It's sticking to my planner. It's not, you know, 30 more minutes won't affect, you know, 30 more minutes without sleep won't affect my next day. Or I ate really well all week, so this weekend, I can eat whatever I want. Well, I know on Monday I'm going to feel terrible. So it's being able to stick to that mental preparation, to stick to my planner, to carry it with me always so that I know it's always there. And then the last thing is I'm surrounding myself with like-minded people. That's how I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable because people around me allow me to be myself. There's no barriers or restrictions. We know at This Is Us that everyone's different. We have diverse backgrounds. We come from different places. We all have things we can bring to the table. And so being in an atmosphere that allows me to be comfortable in my skin is where I really see myself flourish. And that's leading into our third point here of being our best self. When I was honest and I could figure out how I worked and how I ticked, then I was able to be comfortable. And when I was comfortable and I kept putting myself in situations where I was learning and growing and surrounded by people that wanted that for me, I feel like each and every day I'm getting to be my best self. And with that, I'm going to bring you back to the quote of leaders know success is a process, not a destination. So being my best self is sticking to my process. And it's a day-to-day thing. There's always ups and downs. You always, try to talk yourself out of things, like I said. But if you can stick to it, if you can fall in love with the process, the sky's the limit. That is self-empowerment in itself. It's being my best self, being our best selves, and then being able to show others that that's a possibility for them as well. So 3 things hitting home: honesty, that comfortability in your own skin, and then essentially being your best self, falling in love with the process. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Allie for our next activity.
Awesome. Thank you, Aubrey. And it's your turn again. We're going to break this up and we're going to do another exercise, but it's a quick one. And I'm actually, because I want to see on my end, I'm being a little selfish here. I can only see my full screen and a couple people. So I am going to ask these rapid fire questions and I'm going to stop screen sharing because I want to see your answers. We're going to take what Aubrey was talking about with vulnerability. And I know some people, if you're, you might not be able to turn your video on, but if you can for this, that would be awesome. You're not going to talk, so don't worry. We're going to get your paper and pen ready, and you're going to just show your answers on your paper. You're going to put them up to the screen so we can all share and see what you guys think and see the differences in our answers. So get your pen and paper ready, and it's meant to be a rapid fire, quick answers. All right, are we ready? What word describes an empowered team? What word describes an empowered team? You can hold your sheet up when you're ready. Try and make it big so we can read it. What word describes an empowered team? Awesome. I'm seeing a lot of unified, together, togetherness. Awesome. We got some stuff in the chat too. Thank you guys for family. I love that. Good one. Focused. Cool. Awesome. All right. Yeah. Thanks for participating in the chat too, you guys. I appreciate that. Okay. Ready. Question number 2. Get another blank sheet ready. What emotion do you feel when you are empowered? What emotion do you feel when you are empowered? What emotion do you feel when you are empowered? Very cool. Good word. Yeah, we got the virtual backgrounds getting in the way. Awesome. Very good. Strong, proud, confident, alive, satisfied. Awesome. All right, last question. Last question, new sheet of paper. Name someone that has made you feel like you can do anything. Name someone who has empowered you. The name of someone who has empowered you. We don't need to know them. It can be outside our circle here. Who has empowered you? My mom, coaches, Billy, awesome. Roger Federer, nice. Baruch. Oh, awesome. Parents. Very cool. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for sharing. I love it. And the more we do this, the more we keep talking, you're going to hear Kiki's story next, which is really powerful. It empowered all of us to be better. So think about those questions. What word describes an empowered team when Kiki's talking? Maybe put yourself in her shoes and think about the team you're on right now and how you would have handled those situations, or what emotion, what words come up for you when you hear her story and when we kind of continue out with this presentation.
Man, you guys got me like cheesing over here as Allie's setting up, man. This is cool. This is so cool to just be able to interact with you guys. And I just want to say thanks for like diving in with us and being interactive and really thinking outside of the box, because again, in order for you guys to walk away today and have learned something, like you have to really get into it. So I appreciate you guys. Al, if you want to go to the next slide and just start it with that. But we're going to jump right into our next segment, and that is empowering others. And you guys, I'm pumped. If you can't tell, I have a lot of energy right now. I'm pumped to talk to you guys, though, because this is something I'm really passionate about. And simply because I have seen what empowering someone else can do for someone else. And it's powerful. And if you can't tell already, we love John Gordon. So I'm going to start with one of his quotes. It says, empowered people empower others. A true leader doesn't lead to gain power. They lead to empower and give power away. I'm going to read that one more time, a little bit slower. Empowered people empower others. A true leader doesn't lead to gain power. They lead to empower and give power away. And I'm not going to lie, I had to read this quote quite a few times to fully understand it, to really figure out what it meant. And what I gained from it is that, you know, as a leader, we should never be leading to gain power, but we should always be leading to give power away and guide the people around us. And we have to remember that power can always be given. We can always get power from someone or something, and we don't always have to have it all. But in order to make an impact on someone or something, like we have to remember that we don't have to have it all. But we also have to understand that like everyone around us will benefit, because if we choose each other instead of self, everyone will gain that power and feel like they have that power. And so as I go on today, I want you guys to be thinking about something, and it can be very powerful if we choose to empower other people every day. And so if you have a pen and paper right now, what I want you to do is write this down. If we have time at the end, I might go back to it and ask somebody to answer, but I want you to write this down. Why is it important to empower the people around us every day? I'll say it one more time, a little bit slower. Why is it important to empower the people around us every day? And Al, you can go ahead and go to the next slide, because I'll just keep on chugging along here. So we're going to start with empowering others. And what does it mean? And to be honest, I was like, how am I going to bring this to life for you guys to be able to understand and maybe see another point of view? How can I make it make sense to you on how to empower someone else? And I thought the best way to do it was for me to get a little bit personal, me to get a little bit vulnerable with you guys and kind of share my experience, because it was very different from my teammates. But I think it's important for you guys to understand my point of view and being the only Black person in that locker room and how that felt, but as well as how it felt to be in a room full of empowered women that changed my whole outlook on the situation. And so we're going to just start with having a positive mindset. You know, when we made the decision as a team that we were no longer going to be a part of an organization that took our voices away, embarrassed us, took the game away from us, we didn't just throw in the towel and say, you know, this sucks. Like, we really probably just ain't playing anymore. We're going to pack it up and go home. No, like, we had to have the positive mindset to figure it out and choose to make light out of a negative situation. And it was hard for everyone. We had girls on the team that had just finished college and depended on that money. We had Olympians on the team that were trying to train for the Olympics, and amidst the whole pandemic is going on. And the opportunity that we had was so important for so many reasons. And the fact that we chose to walk away from something that we all loved was hard. You know, but we also realized we had a chance to change the game in the way that people viewed softball. We did something that not even the guys do. Men ain't walking out on their professional sports teams. Like, we did that. And we understood as a group that there are so many people that came before us and paved the way for us. And like now that we finally had the torch, we had to have a positive mindset. That was like our attack. And it's important for you guys to understand that you have to choose how you're going to attack in negative situations. And it's so important because it led us to creating a wave in our community that will change the lives of so many little girls that come after us. And so really be thinking, you know, how are you going to bounce back when a negative situation arises, or as a team, how are you going to be able to bounce back? Because again, it can change the way that the people that come after you do things. And, you know, I want to talk a little bit about being, about my teammates and how intentional my teammates were last summer, because it made walking away from our careers and our jobs like that much easier. And, you know, before we had even gotten to spring training, I had teammates being like, this was right after like the George Floyd incident had happened. And I had teammates like, hey, when we get down to Florida, let's go to lunch, let's go to dinner. Let's talk. Like, I just want to talk. I want to understand you. I want to understand your community. And like I said, that happened before we even had gotten to spring training. And then when we get there, all of a sudden, car rides home, car rides to the field, all of this stuff, we're all talking about just what's going on in the world. And that to me was my teammates being fully present and listening to understand. And that is huge when it comes to empowering others, because when we do that, it might not always be comfortable. And I think that that's something we also have to remember is, you know, something that I always kept hearing was we have to have uncomfortable conversations. You know, it's right. We're right. We have to have uncomfortable conversations. And the fact that my teammates, there was some really uncomfortable ones, but the fact that it didn't matter, that they just cared more about how can I be a better person and how can I continue to just continue to keep learning. That meant a lot to me, and it made walking out so much easier. And so remember, put yourselves in situations to where you can learn from other people, you can listen to other people, because it's so important to be present in everything you do, in the classroom, on the field, in your job, whatever it may be. But being fully present and listening to understand is huge when it comes to empowering others. But I want to get into the meat and potatoes. This one was hard for me. One of the hardest moments for me was, first of all, I just want to say, in that locker room, I was ugly crying, like ugly crying. And so were some of my teammates, to be honest, because it was one of those moments where we were all just like, did this really just happen? And then for me, being the only Black person in the locker room, I'm like, oh, none of them even are on the same level as me right now. They don't even understand how, you know, just a few months ago or just a few weeks ago, a man got killed, and whatever else in society is happening. Like, they don't understand that my community has been hurting. And so the fact that we're all just sitting in there and I'm crying, one of the hardest moments of realization for me was being done with the organization that I literally gave my whole professional career to. I had said no to any other opportunities that I had. This was it. I had been with the previous organization from the very beginning. I was, in fact, the first pick of that team. And so for me, I was like, it's over. Like, this is crazy to me, because I'm thinking, you know, I'm only four years into my professional career, and now I'm done because someone else is, you know, decided to take that away. And I also was starting to think, you know, can I really walk away? Can I really quit? Because what are my teammates going to do? Like, what are they thinking? Some of these girls need this money. Some of these girls need the opportunity to train. And I remember just like sitting in silence, and all of a sudden one of my teammates was just like, Kiki, what do you want to do? And everyone else is like, yeah, hold on, Kiki, what do you want to do? And in that moment, I literally froze. But as I was crying, I was just like, you know, guys, I can't be a part of this anymore. I have to walk away. Like, this, I can't represent this. I know my self-worth, and I know who I am to know that I can't be a part of something like this. And in an instant, everybody was like, oh, okay, cool, say less. Jerseys came off. Everybody's packing up their stuff, getting ready to go. Like, it was like that. And I get chills just talking about it, because you don't understand that is what it means to, you know, be able to choose to give someone else power. That's what that looks like. And it was so important, because one of my teammates just chose to make me feel like I had the power to do whatever. You get to make the decision, Kiki, and whatever you do, everybody else is going to follow. So then that made me feel like, okay, I don't have to feel so bad for like, leaving. And when I tell you, after the moment that our general manager had came in there and she had said some words, I was like, you know what, I'm out. And as I'm walking out, everybody else starts walking out. Like it was like that. And again, I wish some people could, it was like a movie, to be honest. Like how we walked out was like a movie. And but that was what my teammates chose to do. They chose to give me the power. And that is huge. When you can do that, and when you can give people power to make decisions, it leads me into my next point. You wanting success for the people around you. Success looks different for everyone. And to me, success looked like my team being unified, not knowing what the next step was going to be, not knowing where the next paycheck was going to come from, not knowing if we were ever going to pick up a ball again. But success was us choosing each other. And when you can look at the people to the left and right of you and you choose each other, that's team, that's success, because that's hard to do. Everyone can't do that. And, I challenge you guys, because this is what I'm going to leave you with. I really challenge you guys to fully be able to do these 4 things right here. Have a positive mindset, be fully present, and be able to listen, to understand, being able to choose to make someone else feel like they have the power to do anything, and then wanting success for other people, because it's got to be a we mentality at all times. It can't be I, me. It's got to be we. And when we choose that, and you choose that with each other, you guys are taking the next steps to fully empower each other. And I'm gonna just say this, you guys, some of my teammates I only knew for only about 11 days, if that, because some of the girls I had never played with before. This was a brand new team essentially. And the fact that they were like, they understood enough, they understood me enough, they understood the situation enough to know that it was so much bigger than softball could have ever been, was powerful. That's super powerful. And so I'm going to leave you guys with that, and I'm going to challenge you guys with that. And Allie, I'm going to let you go ahead and lead it into the next activity. And I'm super excited to see you guys' answers and responses, because this is what it's all about. Just learning, putting yourself out there, being vulnerable. And so I'm like hype right now. Allie, I need you to take this. I really am, because I feel like you guys are in this right now, and that's awesome. And you guys are going to get the most out of it. So I appreciate you.
Yes, and I mean, we have talked about this, right? We are now owners of This Is Us Softball. Myself, Kiki, Monica, who's not here, and Aubrey. And so we live this every day still, and we get to talk about the story again. And even though it was such a hurtful situation, every time we get to flip it and turn it into something positive and make a presentation to deliver to people who get to hear our story, it gives us chills every time too. So, I mean, it's so cool to be able to connect with you guys and for you to hear our story. So we really appreciate you guys listening and being so open and vulnerable, like Kiki said. And we are over time, but Julia and Carrie are giving me permission, I believe, to continue on. So we have one more activity we want to leave you guys with, and we're going to get into one more breakout room, and then we'll wrap it up for you guys. So I apologize, we're a little bit over, but we are going to just discuss a little bit. We want to know what you're going to commit to. What can you do daily? That action item that Kiki left you with and had you think about before she was speaking, we want to turn it into some action, and we want to know how you're going to commit to this. What can you do daily? And we can do this in our breakout rooms. We want you guys to discuss a little bit. So we're going to give you about a minute and a half to discuss with the people in your room. But those 2 things, what can you commit to daily? And what is just one thing? I know we can think of a million things. We want to write a paragraph out of what we can do because we're so pumped about this right now. But just one thing that you can do this week to empower someone. I know you're virtual. You may not be with your teams. No excuses. What is one thing you can do this week that you are going to empower someone? So we're going to send you guys into this last breakout room. Julia, thanks for doing that. And we'll get you guys back in about a minute and a half. Cool. Okay, so if anyone, we're not going to share from everyone, because I know like I said, we're at the end of our presentation, but is anyone just really compelled to share what you guys talked about, or the one thing that you're going to commit to, or how you're going to empower someone this week? We don't have to, again, hear from everyone, but is anyone wanting to share what they talked about?
I'll go. Okay, so for the first question, what was the first question? What will you commit to? What can you do daily? So, from the presentation that you guys gave, we said to empower others, to understand others, to have a positive mindset. I feel like mental health is like a big thing that very important. To listen without judgment, to be honest, respectful, and to be truthful. And then the one thing we will do this week to empower someone, I said give a motivational speech to someone, especially if they're feeling like down or unmotivated. And also my group, they said to do something that makes a person feel better about themselves, and just to be there, like for your friends, for your teammates, because sometimes, you don't know who to go to when you're not in a good state of mind. So it's good to always have someone.
Definitely, yeah. Those are great answers. Thank you. Anyone else wanting to share?
I can share.
Okay.
So in my group, we talked about how we want to be more aware of how other people feel. So like put ourselves in other people's shoes way more, because you don't know what someone else might be going through. Everyone has a different situation. And we can also commit to, or we can try to give people more, like just compliment them, or like do something to like make their day, or like a little acts of kindness, which go a long way.
Definitely. Okay, one more. If anyone else is dying to share, we'll do one more answer.
I could go. I'll go. We were saying in my group, supporting success in the small accomplishments. I think a lot of people feel like a lot of parts of life are out of our control right now. And there's not much that we have control over. So just supporting each other and making small accomplishments and just constantly bettering yourself. So just supporting that. And then personally, what I want to do moving forward is more listening to understand.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
She get the boot?
She must have.
My phone died. I'm sorry. I got my backup on the
Appears out of nowhere.
Oh, you're
no, I was saying personally, I want to start moving forward. I want to start listening to understand more rather than listening to give a response and feeling like I have an answer for everything. That's I don't know if that's the Italian or the Staten Island or a combination of both, but yeah, definitely that's something moving as starting even today.
Yeah.
Make a change towards.
Awesome. Those are great answers. And I think as athletes and just being, academic and wanting to learn and know things, like we always want to do everything. I know I do. So just try, like we said, to commit to the one thing, or for that day, just give yourself the one goal on what you want to try and do to empower someone, or be specific. And, I'm going to give this person this compliment or whatever it might be, but we always want to create this big thing. And we all want to empower everyone, right? And create positive change. But that always seems so big sometimes. So do the one thing, commit to the one thing daily, and just build off that. And I think it'll go a long way for all of you and with your teams. If Kiki and Aubrey, you guys want to say anything, I'm going to just say my thank yous, and we're going to close out. So again, we are over time, but thank you from me and from This Is Us, and Monica too. She wanted me to say thank you to you guys, but we're just so honored to be able to be a part of your day and the event. And we hope that you guys got at least one little nugget that you can take with you and move forward with your personal lives and your teams and just being better, right? Our mission is awareness, empowerment, and unity. And the more we can do that, the better we can be. But we would also love to hear from you. So I know in the chat, you guys tried to ask a little bit about social media, and yes, we are on social media. It is This Is Us SB. This Is Us SB, and that's both on Twitter and Instagram. So we want to hear from you guys too. If you have any other comments, or if you want to share your commitment with us, if you wrote it down and want to tag us in it, in your stories, whatever that is. We would love to hear from you guys. So check us out on social media too. But thank you guys again for everything.
Thank you so much, Allie, for, I mean, this has just been an amazing thing for us. I mean, I seriously have like, I have chills, I have tears, I have everything. I mean, this is just such a great event that I'm so glad that you guys agreed to, come and speak with our group. We have such a vast majority, a wide range of people that are on this call, and just in the chat and texts and everything are just coming in, and just, we can't wait to, hopefully keep working with you guys. And, as part of our, diversity and inclusion is something that we've like put on our map, and we really want to get it big. And I think starting with you guys is going to be a huge stepping stone for us. So thank you so much to you, Aubrey, Kiki, telling your story and everything, and just being so inspirational to all of us, whether, everyone, knows you as softball players or just knows you for, today. I mean, I think you guys are all going to be an imprint in everyone's brain and heart and whatnot. So thank you.
Yeah, I'll just thank you guys. This opportunity is huge, not only to be able to share part of our story, but to be able to send empowerment into the world and to, continue to foster those relationships. From the self-empowerment side, find what works for you. Whether you're a list person, whether you need to do it the day before, anything like that, find what works for you, be honest, be vulnerable, and ultimately be your best self. So thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and echo. Everybody has said kind of thank you, and I really do appreciate you guys. I just appreciate you guys listening. I mean, Carrie, like you said, you guys took the first step, really, of just throwing yourselves out there and being interactive and doing things like this. This is learning. And so if you can continue to find every day, just find something. How can I learn every day? That's how we're gonna get better as a society, in your own community. It's how you guys are gonna be game changers on your teams, in the office, in the workplace, wherever it may be. But we really do appreciate you guys. And I'm so glad that you guys got to be our first call too, because I mean, we've just been really excited about this and changing not only the softball community, but hopefully a lot of just sports in general. So thank you guys, appreciate you.
Thank you. Awesome.
Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your presentation, and hopefully we can see you or work with you again.
Very soon. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.